A few weeks ago, I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from PCBWay. This is my first time ordering from them, and I have some things that were CNC'd from various metals, 3D printed from metal, and a few different plastics, so I'm going to compare all of those. I'm going to open up this box, see what's inside, see how everything looks. Okay, let's just dig in, I guess. I don't actually know what these are because it just has a code, so I'll have to compare that to the packing list that it came with to see what everything is, but I'm going to just see if I can figure it out by looking at it. This, I would guess, is 3D printed metal of some sort. That actually looks really nice. Let me find out what it is. So I've got this very long packing list, and I guess the way that I need to tell what something is with regards to the material is look at the code on it. Ending in 7, okay, starting with 70. They all have the same number on them. The same, every single package. Alright, so somebody showed me how this works. The number that you have to pay attention to is here, so this 33 would correspond to the 33rd item on the list, and that number is also listed here. So you gotta ignore the end, it's the same, ignore this number, it's just this one here. Also ignore the 37 and 44, that does not align. So this is 3C33, which matches the 3C33 on here. So that's how all of the parts are labeled and how you can find what's what in a long list like this. Right now I'm just getting everything out of the box. And then I'm going to at least sort it by the file type. It's been over a month since I ordered this, I think, and I honestly don't remember every single thing that I ordered out of 40 plus pieces. So I'll have to go back in and figure it out from my documentation and just how it looks and like the weight and stuff, and just figure out what everything is because I cannot just tell. Okay, so that's everything out of the box. I also have, for a couple of these things, some test prints that I did on my FDM printer, and that way I can compare the quality of my printing with my normal filament that I use compared to the metal printing and all that. So we'll just put these here for now. Okay, I'm going to try to find all of the heart flame pendant files and just open these up. This is just a very small jewelry item that I wanted to test how the 3D printed metal would handle it, like if there's support structure, residue showing or anything like that. A lot of packaging. Okay, there's a few of these. So this package does tell you how many is in each one. So this has 5 of this. So an interesting thing I noticed is that with some of the materials and files, especially if it's really small, just check and see what the price is for multiples, because for many of these the price was exactly the same or almost exactly the same for multiples of the same item versus just getting one. It's just something to watch out for when you're preparing your order. I did not notice the difference, like the pricing for larger items, so I think it's just there's like a minimum setup or something like that, like a threshold where it's not based on the material usage but on just a minimum price. So these are cool. I'm not sure what they are. I'll figure it out later and I'll go ahead and just add that on the screen, but they look really nice. The edges, to be honest, it does not look what I would consider to be like a not polished, but a finished look. They look like they need some post-processing. The edges are kind of squared off. Now maybe that could be changed by just doing the model differently. The precision is really good. So there's the tiny hole that goes between these. There's no issues with any of them that I am seeing, except me hitting the camera. That's an issue. But there's no issues with these that I can see, so that's how they look. I'll add somewhere on the screen what the material is once I figure that out. So let's put these away and grab the next version of this file. Oh yeah, I was gonna weigh one. Let's weigh one of these. .57 grams. Now my 3D printed version, yeah, that's the same size, I think. No, actually it's a little smaller. You know, I actually printed this. I think I had this printed at a slightly different size. Pretty close though. The plastic one here, 0.33 grams. Okay, next. What will it be? It's more of the same design, but I don't know what material. Okay, so this is one of the plastic type materials. I think it's supposed to print very precisely or something. I can't remember what it was called, but I'll look it up and add it on the screen. A close look. Yeah. I mean, it looks like plastic, but it worked. It's okay. Let's weigh it. 0.46 grams. All right, next. Okay. Heart flame pendant again. Here we go. I don't even remember how many different versions of this that I ordered. Well, this is another metal, that's for sure. Let's get a closer look. This looks a little rougher, I would say. I'll compare all of them at the end. It's a little bit of pitting in the back surface of these, so I'm assuming there's some sort of support material that was there. A little bit of support material left inside of that one, so whatever cleanup process they're using for these is not perfect. It actually kind of even looks like print lines, so whichever metal this is, not quite as good as the other one. So next, oh, forgot to weigh it. .65 grams. Oh, 2.64 grams. Something like that. Okay, next. This is going to be another type of plastic. That much I can see and feel. There's only 2 of them in this one. So the quantity on these is just based on whatever the price was the same for. There's an interesting difference here. This one actually looks kind of flawed. Let me get the closer view here. So they're not consistent. There's a little bit of a bubbling on this, something. I don't know what that is. If there was some kind of support there. I don't know, but that one doesn't have it. Oh wait, it goes this way. That way, this one doesn't have it, but there's some kind of jagged edges on here. So I would say that the quality on this one, I mean, I'm not thrilled with it. You could certainly improve it, but let's just get a weight then. 0.48 grams. There's another one, same file. Oh, and there's another one here too. Okay, let's just bang these out. This is gonna take forever just to open them all. We have multiples of this one. Oops, and they're going flying. Okay. This is obviously another plastic type one. We'll get the exact name, put it on the screen. Actually, these look pretty good. I like this. Actually, I even like just the way the filament looks. It almost looks like it would glow in the dark. That's the type of look. Let's get a cute close view here. These look kind of all the same too. Yeah, looks good. Let's weigh one. 0.41 grams. Next. Well, that didn't work. There we go. Metal of some sort. Quantity 5 of these. That's interesting looking. Kind of cool. It's pretty light. in color. I don't mean like weight, obviously it's light in weight. There's definitely some support materials stuck inside of some of them, not all of them. Actually, might be all of them. Yeah, so whatever material this is, it didn't clean up super well because this little hole, oop, I gotta get to focus. This little hole in all of them still has support material. So that's interesting. Let's weigh one. 1.03 grams. I wonder if they all weigh the same. Let's see if there's any variation. 1.01. 1.03, so they're very close. Probably just depends on exactly how much support material got left in it. Next, I think that might actually be all of that file. Yeah, I think that's all of that file. Okay, we're starting a new file type now, or file name. This is my logo. So this is my 3D printed version. And the weight on the one that I did at this size is 0.57. Okay, we've got the brown plastic again. Let's see. Well, that looks pretty good. Still has these, get the closer camera. Looks really good on the top, on the back. There's little bits of, not on both of them, mostly on this one, some parts that aren't quite flat. Again, I'm assuming that's where there's some sort of support attached. But looks okay. 0.69 grams. Oops. What is this? That's not it. This is, let's see what this is. Still so many left to open. Okay, we've got 5 of this one. First impression, not too bad. I mean, it would look nice if it was polished, but obviously, if you don't pay for polishing, I mean, it's not going to come polished, but they do have add-on services. I just wanted to see what was the base quality that you get without paying for any extra processing. That's how they're coming out. There are some variations. Well, that's what it is. This one's a little rough back here, so definitely some variation. Let's go ahead and weigh one of these. 1.44 grams. My battery is running out. I took the liberty of unpackaging everything because I keep running out of camera battery. It takes so long just to take everything out of the wrapper. So I've got it kind of sorted now. So I'm going to just try to power through all this and just show everything, weigh everything, and then compare the different versions of each one. Just get through it. It is a lot. We're going to go through the remainder of the logo pendants. 5 of these. These actually look pretty nice. I like the color. It's a little bit darker. Some slight variations in how the backs look. Definitely 3D printed metal. You can see a little bit of the layer lines there. Let's weigh one of these. 2.3 grams. Let's see if this one's the same. 2.33 grams. So very, very slight variations. Next, this one is clearly a plastic. Looks nice. I think I need to change the exposure on my camera. Let me see. Yeah, let's turn up the... There we go, that's better. Now we can see better. Okay. Looks nice, looks consistent. Looks like plastic. Okay. .66 grams. 0.62 grams. Okay. So they all have slight variations. Interesting. And that is it for the logo pendant design. I'm going to just compare one of each next to each other. Ah, one more. Missed one. Even just trying to open them all, I still missed a bag. I guess we'll quick grab a close-up of these. Looks about the same. Let's check the weight. My camera is falling down. That's what's going on. Tighten up my tripod arms a little bit here. .7 grams. Okay. So that's the whole lineup of the LDL logo, metal, and plastic 3D prints. Chug along. Put all these away, and on the next one. Just going back to show the heart flame pendants all compared to each other. Okay, the light brown, and then the kind of translucent color. So there's all of the heart flame pendant types compared to each other. They all look actually quite good. I'm not going to complain. They all came out nicely. Our next part, got them all taken out already. This is the one that I printed, and it broke just cleaning off the support structure. It's just very fragile at that joint. Wow, 5 grams exactly. That's cool. Start from this side. So here's all the versions of all the items for this. Now this was not broken when I got it. I broke it. This material is extremely fragile, so I accidentally dropped one and it had a little crack. Where is it? I guess it might have been. Oh, so I saw this one had a little crack, but I had dropped it, so I was like, okay, that was probably me. So I dropped another one on purpose, and yeah, it just broke. So they came fine, but it's an extremely fragile material. Very pretty though. I like the translucent look. And it weighs 6.22 grams. Next plastic, these all look the same. I'm not seeing any obvious differences between the different prints, so there's good consistency. Quality looks really nice. Actually has an interesting feel. It's matte. So it looks really good quality-wise. And the weight is 6.1 grams. 1 ounce. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, 6.1 grams. One of the metal prints. Quite nice looking. I like the finish. A little bit of wibbly wobbly on that line there, so it's not 100% like perfect, but for a large part like this, pretty cool. And the weight is 22.84 grams. Yeah, that's a little heavier. Next metal print, really just nothing remarkable. They kind of just look the same. Weight is 38.62 grams. Last one. Well, that's definitely lighter. That must be the aluminum. That is very light. looks good. Let's, I guess, compare the two, because again, it was the same price to get two, or almost the same price, so I just got two. They look nice. See a little bit of some kind of support that's stuck in there. I could probably get that out myself if I want, but just with their basic cleanup, that did not come off. So it's gonna weight 13.53 grams. So there's a huge difference in weights. So just to compare all three of the metals, just the visuals, these two look the same from the back. Yeah, I mean, they all look nice. Cool. All right, so that's it for that part. I'm gonna put all these away and then we'll grab another one. The next series of parts are these test rods that I've done in a bunch of different materials. And I'm gonna perform some testing on them later for strength and whatnot. But for now, we're gonna just check out the different types. This one is carbon fiber, and this is CNC'd out of a block of carbon fiber, so it kind of looks 3D printed on the top. Let's get it in the detail view. But you can see on the sides the carbon fiber there. So that's quite nice. Let's see what it weighs. $25.13 grams. This one they taped onto a piece of cardboard, so I'm assuming it's probably quite fragile. $20.43 grams. So we've got a couple of different styles. I'm not going to go through every single one. I think this is polycarbonate, but they look fine. They're just for testing, like to see how their prints come out from PCBWay, and just compare this to the other types of materials. So we're not going to go through all of those. Oh wait, this one. It's a very pretty material. The text, again, the detail view, the text is very crisp. For a pilot hole, yeah, it's you could thread that if you wanted to, I guess, although I'm not sure you'd really want to be trying to put threads in that little bit of plastic. Same for the M4, it's a little smaller because that way you can tap it if you want to. Weight on that one, $19.34 grams. Next material, very pretty material, crisp text, 18.65 grams. Okay, let's start into the metal ones. This one looks like and feels like aluminum. Pretty sure that's aluminum. And this has been tapped, so I'm going to check if the screws fit in it. Let's just get a weight first. 45.44 grams. Yeah. screws in smoothly. Maybe a tiny bit wobbly. Let's check the M8. Yeah, very smooth. So for this I had my step file and then also a diagram indicating that these were to be tapped. And it was just a very simple diagram, but apparently that was all they needed because they were tapped. It does seem a little bit wobbly, but I think that's maybe just because this is so thin. I'm not sure, but it definitely threads in smoothly. So cool. I just realized that I actually have another part that's very similar to this one that I was pretty sure was aluminum. So try not to mix them up. They look the same. To just my hands feel about the same. I still think this one's aluminum, but let's check the weight on this second one and then we'll check the threads also. 43.81. What was this one again? 45.44, so they're very close in weight. No wonder I couldn't tell just by feeling it. And let's check the screw threading on this guy. Camera's not focusing. There you go. Well, this is definitely tighter. There might be some grit left in the threads maybe, I don't know. There we go, now it's smooth. Yeah, I think there was just a little bit of debris in the threads. So that's fine. You can see that they look a little bit dirty, those threads. There you go. It still has a little bit of wobble to it, but it's a pretty thin part. So I'm going to guess that's probably normal. Okay, so there we go, that's that part. This metal one has not been threaded. This is a 3D printed metal. So it's just got a hole that could then be tapped for both of these. So yeah, you could tap this if you want to, that's the idea. But yeah, there's the finish on that one. A little bit of a chamfer here, chamfer there. That all came out nicely. This hole is very smooth. $43.57 grams. This is still the 4mm test rod part. I have a couple of parts left. Another 3D printed one. Text is very crisp. This is not threaded. Oh, that is too heavy for this scale. Okay. Time to move to the big scale. $124 grams. Then the last part for this model, I think this must be titanium? I'm not sure, but last part for this particular model, it is, oh, okay, this one's threaded. So this one, because it's threaded, this one is not 3D printed. This is CNC milled. So let's check the threads on that. Yep, smooth, good. Okay, and the weight on this one, 130. Okay, so that's it for the 4mm test rod file. I'm gonna just move all of these out of the way. Okay, so this next set, they're all 3D printed. It's a variation of that test rod. They're 6mm thick and they have different cutouts, so I'm gonna just go ahead and show all of these. Let's bring the scale over here. Okay, so this has all of the cutouts here, and these are just pilot holes that could be tapped if you want to. Looks nice. No extra processing on these. This is just the basic, how it comes if you just pay the base price. So you got a couple little blemishes, but overall seems pretty good. And it weighs 133 grams. Same design, also 3D printed. That one weighs 48 grams. There's the quality. Again, you got the pilot holes there, nothing tapped. Just the straight up finish from the 3D printing process and whatever post-processing that they do that's included in the PCBWay pricing. So that's that one. Okay. Next model, this is very similar, but this one has no cutouts there. They're just recessed, it's just ribs. And this one weighs 148 grams. There's a view of the quality. These are all very similar looking. I'm not noticing any particular problems. It's kind of just a rugged finish. It's cool, I like it. Other materials, same design. Just checking if it's flat. Almost, yeah, you know, it might be. No, I think that's just my mat that's bowed. I was just trying to check if it's flat, straight and everything. It just, something looks a little odd, but I guess it's not. Okay, 52 grams. There's a view of the finish on that. You've got these little chamfers here that came out nice. You got an undercut here. No noticeable problems. It's pretty good. Okay, we're done with that model. All right, final model here for these test rod style things. This is again very similar. It's just now we don't have the ribs because these are going to be used for testing strength. Later on, this is the light one. That is 50 grams. There's a view of the finish, very similar. Not noticing any particular variations between how these are coming out with regards to finish or like straightness, flatness, or anything like that. Last one, yeah, this one's definitely the heavier one. That's quite heavy. For its size, it feels really heavy. 145 grams. There is the view of the finish on this one. Same as all of the rest, I would say. Okay, that is it for that model. Okay. Let's move these out of the way. So next up is the larger pieces here. This stack is all the same model, so I'm going to just go through the same thing, weigh it, show it on the detail view, and then I'll add in what each metal is in the post-processing. This is heavy. Ooh-wee. Okay, so the weight, 433 grams. This is clearly a CNC cut piece. It's nice. No rough, snaggy edges or anything. Seems just very nice. Okay, so this is just a 3D printed one for comparison. I think this was polycarbonate. So a polycarbonate of that same file is 64 grams. There is the finish of their 3D printing. This is obviously the side that was down on the bed. So that is that. Oh, that's a lot lighter. Okay. This is CNC. 172. Looks nice. All the edges are good, nothing sharp. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I just want to feel. Ooh, yeah, that one's way heavier. Huge difference between the materials. Okay, last one of this design. 158 grams. Again, this is all CNC cut rather than the 3D printed like those hooks were. And it looks good. None of these were threaded. That was just not in the documentation to have the threads tapped. So they are just smooth. That is the end for that model. So I'm going to put all of these away. Last pile over here. Oh goodness, okay, uh-oh. Not sure where that one came from. I guess here, okay. Different file, this is the same polycarbonate filament, just a different design. 74 grams. Same quality as all of the other 3D printed ones of this material. Carbon fiber, CNC cut. No threads in this. Looks all right. I mean, I don't love the edge chips. It's whatever. Okay, weight is 100 grams. Okay. Oh, that goes with this packaging. Next one of this file, that is very heavy. Wow. 502 grams. CNC machined. Quality's good. Uh-oh. Okay, this is the last metal one for this file, and it's very light compared to that one. 185 grams. There's the quality. Again, not seeing any issues here. None of these were set to be tapped, so they're just pilot holes. And that is that. Okay, final part. This is a one-off. There's only one of these. Again, nothing is threaded here because that wasn't called out in the documentation. No sharp edges. Nothing is snaggy. No issues left from the machining. And the weight is 254 grams. Not that I have anything to compare it with to say if that is heavy or light compared to anything else, but it is what it is. Nice though. Almost doesn't look straight, but I think it's just my eyes throwing me off. Or maybe this mat, because this mat has a little bit of wobble to it, but cool. So that is what, like around 2K worth of CNC 3D printed metal plastic parts looks like from PCBWay. So now I just need to figure out exactly what everything is and do some more testing, like destructive type testing, and see how everything holds up, see how polishing goes. Obviously with the jewelry stuff, it doesn't look super great just with no post-processing other than the base level, but that's kind of to be expected. So just wanted to get a baseline for how things come out, and I'm happy with it. I mean, it's good stuff. It's great to have metal as an option, like to put in my belt, even without having to learn to do the CNC stuff myself or have any kind of like personal access to a metal 3D printer. I do not want to deal with that, even if it was more affordable, which it's not, but it's pretty affordable to just have it done by a company that's specializing in all of this stuff. So cool. That was interesting to explore.